Number 11. Let's read the problem. For randomly selected delta IQ scores are normally distributed with a mean of 100 and standard deviation of 15. So this gives a population standard deviation. That's important to note because that's going to determine whether we're going to use the Z distribution or a T distribution. The scores for 14 randomly selected UCSC students are listed below. A counselor claims that the mean of UCSC students are greater than 1 standard deviation above the mean. So here they give the actual statement for your claim. Use significance level of 0.01 to test the counselor's claim that the mean is greater than 115. So it's important that you know what we're testing. So we're testing the mean, and the mean is greater than 115 is your claim. So mean greater than 115. So that's clearly mu is bigger than 115 in symbols, so the opposite of the claim is mu is less than or equal to. That equal to is important again. And step 3, we got your h sub 0 is mu is less than or equal to 115, and your h sub 1 is the original claim, mu is greater than 115. So again, for good measure, we put claim here, and we got our statement ready. By the way, if you put mu is equal to 115 here, that would be fine. That wouldn't be that big of a deal, and we'll still go through the process the same way, and some people have been doing that. Step number 4, our significance level is given in the problem, 0.01. Step number 5, our statistics. Now, we don't have statistics here, we have a list of data. So what we can do is we can do a 1 var stats on this to figure out what your statistics are, and then be able to use the formula to figure out what we need. But you know what? Instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go straight to the calculator and combine steps 4 and 5, or 5 and 6. And by the way, we know sigma is known. So in this particular case, we're going to use the z-test. So normally we would use a t-test if sigma wasn't known, but here we'll use the z-test. And like I said, I'm just going to go straight to the calculator and have a calculator do all my work for me, including finding all the statistics. So this is, first what we're going to do is we're going to fill up our list. I'm going to use L3 here to fill up our list. Oops. 128, 107, 109, 116, 124, 135, 127, 115, 104, 118, 126, 129, 133. And we note that there's 14 here, and you can just go through it again a little bit more carefully to make sure that you've inputted everything correctly. I'll just say that I did, and we're going to go to L3 and do the z-test. That's the first option. Now I have data, so this time I'm going to use data, and it's asking me for the mean that you're testing, which is 115. And we have to know the standard deviation for us to be able to use the z-test. So I'm going to use 15 for the standard deviation. Our list is L3. Frequency is always going to be 1. and our alternative hypothesis is a greater than symbol, so we want to make sure that we choose or select the greater than symbol. And so quick screenshot of this so we can copy it in our notes, and then let's have it do the calculation. Oops. Let's find our calculator again. Calculator seems to always disappear here. Okay, let's put it in the notes and let's place it down here. So the neat thing about this is that it actually gives us the statistics that we didn't have earlier. So instead of doing the one var stats, it actually gives us all that information right here. These are the values that we would have had to use to make sure that if we're using the formulas. Since we are just using the p-value method, want to make sure you got your calculator command down here, and then you, like I said, I always like to see the test statistic, although you're not going to use it in the p-value method. The test statistic is z value equals 1.354. More importantly, our p-value is 0.0878. Let's call it 0.88. And so step 7, since our p-value seems to be greater, since p-value is greater, let's actually put our p-value down, 0.088 is greater than alpha significance level, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so given this conclusion, we go to step 8 and then use the wording for the final conclusion. And here we go. This original claim contained a condition of equality. We had a greater than sign there, so that's a no. Do you reject the null hypothesis? We failed to reject it, so we go down here. We say there's not sufficient evidence to support the claim. So that's going to be our final wording, our conclusion. There is not sufficient evidence to support the claim that the mean IQ scores of UCSC students is greater than 1 standard deviation. We'll just call it 115. Okay, so this is problem number 11.